have a lot of great technology these days, but there's a certain point at which making things too real or too literal is almost not helpful, as fantastic as they may be, because it doesn't require us to connect the dots with our own brain. And that's where the real magic happens. I am a textbook example of be careful what you wish for, but I never would have had any inkling that this would have been possible or this would be where I landed. You know, I grew up in Southern California, happened to be born about the same time Disneyland opened, and loved going there as a kid. I was a pretty nerdy kid and knew every detail about Disneyland, and if you'd told me back then that I could make a living kind of coming up with experiences like that, or even going beyond that and doing cultural experiences that had that kind of imagination and experiential component to them, I would have said, well, you're crazy. Nobody gets to do that. I was a music major at first, you know, and really just fell into a part-time job at Disneyland, and through some great opportunities that I had there and maybe pure luck, had a chance to start learning about this business. And that's what took me back to ArtCenter, actually, because I realized, gee, maybe this really is something I could do. I sometimes think I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I've had that experience many times in my life. You know, working at Disneyland, we'd opened a huge new parade or something spectacular, and I thought, wow, I got to be part of that. Then I got to work on the '84 Olympics, and the opening ceremonies were kind of the event that woke everybody up and said, this could be fun after all, this is going to be a big success. From there to, you know, work on the Statue of Liberty centennial celebration, and then went from there to Universal Studios and got to design a $1 billion world-class theme park as the head of creative for them. And now the World Trade Center and other projects we do here. We worked very hard on the World Trade Center project to hit that right note that was respectful and acknowledged the context, but also gave everybody permission kind of to say, now what does this mean for us today, and how do we put this in its proper perspective but still go on? And I think we succeeded pretty well on that. We live in an ADD world where there's a lot of stuff throwing around, but in spite of that, we're human beings and we love a good story. And so if you capture everybody's attention and give them something to follow, then it's much more easy to move them emotionally and create a memorable experience. The project we did in New Orleans for the National World War II Museum, which we did with Tom Hanks, you know, everybody goes into that with some preconceived notion of what that was all about. They walk in thinking one thing, and we really find that when people leave, they're seeing it in a whole different way and having a whole different concept of what that was. The High Roller project in Vegas was a real gift, and how do you do an iconic structure that would stand out there and mean something? And the Las Vegas Strip is about the noisiest visual environment you can imagine anywhere on the planet. What we tried to do was simplify and simplify and simplify to do the cleanest, most beautiful form we could that would just set against all of that noise. If you blur the line just enough, then you actually can play tricks within that same vocabulary, because people stop wondering about how are you doing that, and they just immerse themselves in the experience. And you can apply that to theater or rides or walkthroughs or almost any presentation mode, but it's almost a form of magic. really been fantastic, and I consider myself incredibly lucky to be able to do projects like that and keep finding unique projects. Maybe just because I'm the only one around that's dumb enough to undertake some of these things, but it's great to have new challenges thrown at you and say, how can we take a different view and do something really special there, which is what we try to do every time.